Have you ever wondered why some people work less but end up making way more money? Or why the rich keep getting richer while everyone else is stuck working paycheck to paycheck? I used to think the exact same way, but then I learned this one financial concept that literally separates the rich from the poor. What I'm about to share with you changed the way I think about money, work, and wealth. And trust me, it's not something they're going to teach you in school. It's a simple yet powerful idea that the wealthy know and use to stay ahead. And by the end of this video, you will know it too. We're talking about unlocking true financial freedom. This concept is the key to escaping the cycle of trading your time for money and move into a place where your money starts working for you, not against you. What is the one financial concept that truly separates the rich from the poor? Think about it as a financial map, a way of looking at how money flows into your life. The rich have mastered this map, while the rest of us are stuck in just one part of it, not knowing there's another way. This concept was introduced by none other than Robert Kiyosaki, the guy behind Rich Dad Poor Dad, one of my favorite books of all time. He calls it the Cashflow Quadrant. But here's the thing, it's not just about making money. It's about knowing how money works and how to shift from working for money to having money work for you. The Cashflow Quadrant breaks down the four main ways that people earn money. Most people are stuck on the left-hand side, where they trade their time for money. But the rich, they operate on the right side, where money and systems generate the income for them. I'm about to break this down for you and show you why understanding this concept is the key to separating yourself from the pack. The quadrant is divided into four sections. On the left-hand side, there's an E for employee, S for self-employed, and on the right-hand side, we have B for business owner and I for investor. Each quadrant represents a different way to make money, but the secret to becoming wealthy lies in shifting from the left-hand side to the right-hand side. Unfortunately, most people spend their entire lives stuck on the left-hand side, trading their time for money and never realizing there's a better way. But the wealthy operate on the right-hand side, where they've built systems and investments that generate them passive income. This is the concept that separates the rich from the poor, and today I'm going to show you how to start making that shift. Let's start with Quadrant E. This is where most people spend their entire life. As an employee, you trade your time for a paycheck. Sound familiar, right? While having a job might feel secure, but there's a huge problem. Your income is limited to how much time you can actually trade. No matter how hard you work, you'll never escape the fact that there's only 24 hours in a day. The wealthy understand that this is the trap of the E quadrant. If you're here, you're constantly working for someone else's dream, not your own. The truth is, a majority of people stay in this quadrant their entire lives. And while the job can provide stability, it's not the path to financial freedom. There's a ceiling on your income because it's tied to your time. If you stop working, the money stops. It's a cycle, and it's one that most people don't even realize they're in. But now you're starting to see it, right? And once you understand this, you can begin to plan your escape. So if you're an employee, don't worry. This is just the beginning. In fact, most of us start here. The key is not staying here forever. Let's move to the next quadrant. Next up is S for self-employed. Maybe you've made the jump from employee to running your own business or freelancing. You've got a bit more control over your income, but here's the thing. You're still trading your time for money. As a self-employed person, you are your business. If you stop working, the money stops too. It's better than being an employee because you have control, but you're still trading your time for money. And that's where the problem lies. I know this quadrant very well because I used to live here. Being self-employed sounds like freedom at first. You're your own boss, there's no one telling you what to do. But the reality is, instead of one boss, you now have dozens of bosses, your clients and your customers. You work harder, longer hours, and if you stop, the income stops. It's exhausting. This quadrant can trick you into thinking you've made it, but true financial freedom still feels out of reach. I remember working late nights, weekends, and feeling like I was constantly on the hamster wheel. That's when I realized I needed to make a bigger shift and shift to the right side of the quadrant. And that's where Quadrant B comes in. Now let's talk about the quadrant where the rich start to break away. Here's the game changer. Business owners don't trade their time for money. Instead, they build systems that generate money for them, whether they're working or not. Think about companies like Amazon and Tesla. Jeff Bezos and Elon Musk are not packing boxes or building the cars themselves. They've created systems that generate them income while they focus on growth. The rich builds businesses that work for them while everyone else is stuck working for a paycheck. This is where I started to see a shift. By creating systems and outsourcing and automating parts of the savvy couple, I was able to step back from the daily grind and focus on growing the business. And that's exactly where B quadrant is about, letting systems do the work for you and you reap the reward. This is the quadrant that a lot of business owners will see a lot of success and start to thrive, and they'll realize that they have a repeatable process and system for starting other businesses, and they'll jump and start another business. This is kind of what we did. We took the stuff that we learned from the Savvy Couple and replicated it into the Savvy Mama and turned that into a six-figure business within 6 months. The key to moving into B quadrant is leveraging other people's time, skills, and resources. It's not about just working harder. It's about working smarter. You start creating value that doesn't require you to be there every single day. The business grows while you focus on bigger goals like expanding or investing. Once you make this shift and hire your first employee or contractor, the freedom is real. You can spend more time with your family, focus on what you're passionate about, and even step away entirely if the system is strong enough. That's the power of the B quadrant. And if you're serious about creating lasting wealth, this is where you want to be. And now for the final quadrant, the I quadrant. This is the ultimate goal, savvy family. As an investor, your money works for you. Instead of trading your time for money, your assets, whether stocks or real estate or businesses, generate passive income. This is how the rich get richer. They're not working harder. They're letting their investments grow and compound over time. It's all about having your money work for you. Imagine waking up and seeing that your investments have grown overnight. And the good part is you don't need a lot of money to get started investing, but the sooner you begin, the faster you'll see the results. The I quadrant is where financial freedom truly happens. It's not about earning money. It's about building the wealth that continues to grow even when you're not actively working. Whether it's through stocks, real estate, owning parts of other businesses, investors focus solely on making their money grow with minimal effort. They understand the power of compounding returns, and the sooner you start, the more time your money has to grow. This is where the richest people in the world play the game, and now it's time for you to do the same. So how do you make the shift from the left side of the quadrant over to the right side? It's not overnight, but with the right mindset and strategy, anyone can do it. And here's how. Start small. Whether it's launching a side hustle or making a small investment, the key is to start. Every move you make towards the B or I quadrant gets you closer to financial freedom. Number 2, build systems. If you're self-employed or running a business, look for ways to automate and outsource. Free yourself from the day-to-day operations so that your income isn't tied to your time. Number 3, invest early and often. Start putting your money into assets that grow over time. Stocks, real estate, or even businesses. The earlier you start, the bigger it will pay off. The key here is to stay consistent and keep moving forward. Every small step you take towards the B or I quadrant brings you closer to financial freedom that separates the rich from the poor. Now that you know about the one financial concept that separates the rich from the poor, it's time to take action. Will you stay on the left side of the quadrant, or are you ready to make a move to the right side of the quadrant and unlock your financial freedom? If you're serious about making the shift, hit the like button, subscribe, and drop a comment letting me know which quadrant you are in right now and where you want to be. Let's unlock financial freedom together. I'll see you in my next video where I share 7 side hustles that no one's talking about that can make you upwards of $500 per day. See you over there. Peace.